Hey guys, welcome to the show. I was chatting a little bit before we came live with our guest, and I'm just so intrigued with what she's doing in the space. So today's guest is really doing something I just find fascinating, helping and make sure I position this right, Megan, helping consumer packaged goods brands really. To me, it seems like you're breathing new life into their products while reducing waste and making a positive environmental impact. And so Meghan Sumser is the founder of Shelf Love, a company dedicated to helping those brands find sustainable solutions for really, it seems like what they're calling like short dated or excess inventory out there. And again, it's just really turned into a passion project. So you're not just, to me, not just tackling a problem, you're really rewriting how brands are thinking about product cycles and value creation. So let's get to it, Megan. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to learn more about this great work that you're doing. So let's start there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey that led you to create Shelf Love? And I'm always curious if there was a specific moment that you knew this was the business that you wanted to build.
Yeah, totally. Well, like I said in our pre-interview chat, I totally got into CPG by accident. So it was a good accident to happen. But growing up, I've always been, I was always excited about health and wellness. I played sports and was always interested about how what I put into my body was going to help me perform better in my soccer games or whatever the case was. After college, after I graduated, I ended up teaching hot yoga for a while. And so learned a lot about, the wellness side of the industry and kind of got more insight there. And then in my 20s, I just kind of floundered around. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I always said, I remember in interviews saying, like when I was interviewing for companies saying like, I just want to do something that like impacts at least one person in a positive way. Like that was just like
Right.
where my passion was. Fast forward in 2019, I was the event manager for a tech company. So really just went all over the place with different opportunities career wise.
Yep.
I unfortunately got laid off because we went into COVID shortly after that. And my friend, who I actually host a podcast with as well, and who I had worked with before, said that she was working for this organic coffee company and they had openings for brand ambassadors, and was I interested? And because I had no other opportunities at the time, I was definitely interested. So I started as a brand ambassador. I thought it was so fun. It was definitely an entry level job, but I just thought it was fun. Like I felt like I was getting paid to socialize. So it was amazing. I was going around to different Whole Foods and Publix here in Nashville where I live, and selling in displays and helping push the product in different unique ways, and doing demos in store and just like trying to increase product awareness. I ended up being really good at it. So the Publix down the street from me was, top selling Publix nationwide for the company I was working for several months on end. So I was like, dang, this is like exciting. I feel like I'm going to get to move up in this company, and quickly realized that emerging brands have fluctuating blood budgets. And although I was, doing a great job for them and I was really loving it, they had a hard time keeping me on because their budget was just going all over the place. And that was kind of like why I decided to create Shelf Love, because I was like, there are other brands that need this great service by a brand ambassador, somebody in the field that is, working to represent their brand and spreading the brand awareness. But these brands, they can't sustain it, right? It was like not a part of the budget, at least where I was coming from, that they were able to do that. So, because a lot of CPGs and the CPG brands in the natural organic space are, typically emerging. So they're, trying to find their footing. It's not all poppy that just sold for 1 point however many billion dollars.
Right.
But yeah, so I just found it so exciting to be able to help these brands. I found it incredibly inspiring to see how the work I was doing here in Nashville was making an impact on the bottom line for the companies I was working with. And then, I was like, this isn't sustainable for me. I can't make $20 an hour from one brand. This is just like not something that is going to work in my life. And I was actually on a trip with a different brand that I was working with, still doing brand ambassador work. And I was talking to one of the gentlemen at the brand I was working with, and he was like, you know what you should do is you should create a business and just start doing this for more brands. And so we started out as doing really merchandising service. I gave the brands that I was working with a really good deal for the first couple of months when I just decided to start creating Shelf Love, and was really doing merchandising. And what that looks like is literally going into stores. If you don't know this as a consumer, when you go into stores and see like a big display of like Coke or Pepsi or whatever it is, all that is paid for space by the brand. And with these natural emerging brands, they really need somebody in there that can kind of like weasel our way in and not pay for it, basically. So that's what I was doing, is like getting display places, finding holes in the set and all that sort of stuff. And then I started doing demos more often. Yeah. And, you know, about a year into our business, we created a partnership with a brand called Plant People, and we were able to take their demos nationwide at Whole Foods, which is how we were able to grow nationwide and be able to have so many like awesome employees. So yeah, so now we are focused on doing in-store demos and events. And so what that looks like is, you know, a new brand gets put into Whole Foods, and as exciting of a journey as it is to get a brand on the shelf, it is also a big deal to get the brand then off the shelf and into people's baskets and people purchasing it. Otherwise, it will not stay in the store. So we help with the field marketing in store. You mentioned too about helping to move through different SKUs and items. There's definitely strategy around that to make sure that items aren't sitting in the store and aren't, going out of date and all of that sort of stuff. So there's definitely multiple levels to it, but it's been a really fun journey so far, for sure.
So the whole retail waste thing is really just about helping these products move product.
Yeah.
Is that what it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So it doesn't get tossed. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. There's so much product that gets wasted. And actually we just worked with a brand, and it's so sad because they put in so much effort to going into these new retail stores. And so, part of what we do is support those brands when they get into retail stores so that people know about them, the staff knows about them. But then, to that point, we have been helping a brand recently who had this huge launch. I remember back in November, we were talking to them, and it is now, August? And so back in November, we were talking to them about starting to do demos and stuff. And then fast forward, now their product is going out of date because of whatever retail relationships they have. And so they're using us to be able to push through it. Otherwise, they would just be trashing it all, which is tragic for everybody,
Yeah, I guess something we don't really think about, but I bet you've learned so much about these brands and how they function, but also the consumers and how they're interacting with these brands.
Totally. Buyer psychology is so interesting, and it's so funny being in store and like learning about what people care about different things and how they react to the things that you're saying, or how you, bring a brand to light, or whatever you're going to say about it. So
you're actually, at this point, are you actually at times in the store interacting with the consumers at that level?
I started out that way for the first about year and a half. And then I quickly got to the point where, being in store just took a lot of time, obviously. And I wasn't able to focus on growing the business at all. So once we got to a point where I was no longer able to fulfill both roles, I ended up bringing on a brand ambassador in Nashville to kind of take over for me. She has since been promoted to the COO, so she has done like an incredible job. Yeah, it's been so fun. We started in, just Nashville, expanded to LA, and now we're in, I think, 21 cities, and we've got over 40 brand ambassadors. Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really fun.
God, I didn't realize you had gone like that. That's so good. Not that much time, really. How long have you been in business?
July was 2 years.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, thank you.
What's something people don't realize about running a business like this? I mean, people just hear that and it sounds like phenomenal, but the challenges around operations and partnerships or the logistics side, I mean, there's just so much that people don't realize.
Yeah, I think the first thing, like I've thought of different business ideas. I never like really was gung ho on I have to be an entrepreneur, but I
Yeah.
have thought of other businesses that I thought would be really good to create, and I still do think that it'd be really good.
Yeah.
But I think what really allowed Shelf Love to work is a that I have a real passion for this
Yes.
work. It's like something that I actually truly care about, and I am like very excited about having a women-owned company and having a
Hmm.
women-led team
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. I think that having passion is so important. Otherwise, you would want to quit a lot of times, and I have wanted to quit
100%.
sometimes. But I think the other part of having a business is like when you have the idea and the passion and the drive and the desire and the ability that you just have to do it. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
a lot of times I feel like you kind of wait around for the opportunity or the perfect circumstances, and I just don't think that that exists.
Yeah. Being an entrepreneur brings freedom in so many ways, but in reality, I think that really a 9 to 5 is much easier, right? You go, you know what to do, you leave. Like there's just, you have to really kind of turn off the entrepreneurial mindset, just to get that freedom. So it's cool that what you've been able to do. And yeah, and what's so cool that you're helping other people and to grow into that space.
Yeah, that has been the best part of it, honestly, is like all of the brands that we support are better for our bodies and better for the planet. So
Hmm.
that makes me feel so good. But the best part I mentioned before are Olivia, our now COO, and Anna, we had graduated fresh from college, and she's like 23 now, but she also started as a part-time brand ambassador in January and is now our marketing manager, working full-time and not doing
Nice.
any demos too. So getting to like help develop them and see like how they're moving and growing is honestly like one of the best parts. And we've just promoted 4 other brand ambassadors into leadership roles, and so that has really been something so inspiring. And when I'm at that point where I'm like, oh god, I like this is so hard, or why is it like this, I do think about how
Right.
Shelf Love is supporting them, and it inspires me to keep going for sure.
The impact you're making on them. You're going to have to maybe not be so good about rising people up out of being brand ambassadors.
I know, we gotta take it slow from now
Because you
on.
need them too.
Our team is just too good.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It sounds
totally.
like you guys are really tight and doing the do together. Um,
Yeah.
One thing I think about too, when with companies like yours, especially with a product or really a mission, certainly from your perspective and your team's perspective, a mission that's just it's pretty sticky. I would imagine once even brands interact with you and they see what you can do. How are you? What are you doing to get in front of the right people at the right time, which is really what growing your business is all about. What kind of tools are you using?
Yeah, totally. LinkedIn is definitely a great resource for reaching out to people. Any of the social channels, really, just like getting
Hmm.
involved and kind of spending time in their space. The most success that I've found has been from going to conventions or trade shows. It's funny because the CPG space, consumer product good, packaged good, sorry, is so small. Like there are people
Hmm.
that just go from brand to brand. Everybody talks to one another. It is also really nice because I would say like vast majority of the people are really kind and like want to help you succeed,
That's good.
and it's so nice. So I love the uplifting community, but yeah, really trade shows and conventions, things like that, which, in the organic food space are super fun because I'm just eating organic snacks all day
Right.
while talking to customers. But yeah, that's how it's really grown. I mean, we worked with some brands in the beginning that I wish that we could work with again. And we were so green at the time that our processes have changed so
Hmm.
much. And so there are brands that I hope that we get to, work with again and show them like how we've changed and developed.
Right.
But yeah, we've had really awesome brand partners that have helped, give recommendations and things like that too. But it really has been being like a consistent face and somebody that they can remember. And Our branding, I'm really proud of. I didn't do it. I paid somebody to do it, but she did a really good job at it.
You led the
And
way.
yeah, and so we had. I feel like our branding also allows for potential brands to really remember us and stick in their minds too. So
Are you, have you, because as we were talking, I definitely have an interest in AI, artificial intelligence, how people are using that today to grow their business. I mean, it's just so much in its infancy. One way I've personally found that particularly helpful is in lead generation, really just, again, getting in contact with the people at the right time. Have you used any AI tools for connecting in that way?
I love ChatGPT.
Yeah, I
It has been
know.
a great resource. I know
Talk
that it
about
has
an
its
assistant.
environmental, yeah, I know that it has its environmental impacts, and I really hope that we can figure that out. But it has been an incredible tool
Hmm.
because I didn't get a degree in business. I don't
Right.
know how to, everything that I
Hmm.
know is self-taught or
Yeah.
self-learned. And so yeah, I lean on chat a lot. I would say it's helped me the most in lead generations with specific events that we want to partner
Hmm.
with.
Yep.
It's a hard brands, emerging brands are doing so many, spinning 8,000 plates at the same time. So for them to find different events for them to be a part of is a little bit difficult. So we definitely use chat to kind of hone in on different festivals or things that are like that are happening so that we can support our brand partners in that way. Um, I'm not going to lie and say I haven't used it for an email template once or twice, but
I think anybody would be lying if they said
yeah,
that.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a great tool, and I like truly. It's interesting to think about how what it would have looked like a couple of years ago to start
Hmm.
this without
Right.
the tools of it. So it is really
Yeah.
interesting.
And what about, I mean, you have such an incredible story, both for your personal business, but then the ability to share the stories of the businesses that you're partnering with. Are you like, how are you creating content at scale for that? Are you putting that out into the ether, into the social media world, or what are you doing there?
Um, so you're saying to educate others on
Yeah, I
the
mean,
brands
about
that we're
what,
representing?
yeah, exactly. That's one, of course, one way to not only get your story out, but to really help your brands get their
Totally.
story out.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, I mentioned before that I am a co-host on a
Hmm.
podcast. It's actually
Yeah.
called Chat CPG, so you can tell how much I really do
Ah,
love chat.
well played.
Thank you. So one way is that, utilizing the podcast space as a way to elevate specifically female voices and talk
Hmm.
about the, different things. We really want to position ourselves to be like the female voice of CPG
Yeah.
and health and wellness and all of that sort of stuff. And, also our in-store demos and events are really impactful, like when it's kind of like the new take of the retired grandmother at Costco handing out samples. So we have, people that are like genuinely really excited about natural and
Right.
organic products in the
Hmm.
stores, and they're educating the staff and the customers on this. And then as far as like social media wise, we are actually growing that arm of our business right now, and being able to offer our brand partners, a real look into what it looks like when we're in the store doing this. And
Hmm.
maybe we're offering recipes with the brands that we work with. And I envision Shelf Love to be a hub for all things health and wellness, so that not only do brands that want to work with us go to our website or our socials, but like an everyday
Right.
consumer can also find a lot of value in going to our
Yeah.
socials and our sites to be able to like gain good information and learn about these cool brands that you wouldn't necessarily pick up at the
Yeah.
grocery store without hearing something about them.
Right. I mean, and I think about you guys have just grown so much in 2 years. I mean, you're a completely different business than you, 2 years ago. But today, what do you think are your main bottlenecks to growth, to, impacting more brands, working with more brands? What do you think is the biggest obstacle standing in your way?
That's a great question. Right now, I think that we are kind of at a space where we need to really figure out some solid SOPs to be able to
Yeah.
like work through with our brand partners. So I mentioned earlier that we have just promoted 4 brand ambassadors internally. And
Yeah.
part of that is to help with managing our brand ambassadors. So we have over 40 brand ambassadors now. And it's, as much as I wish that I could just like sit on the phone and chat with all of them all day, it just is not possible. So I think like really leaning into our company culture and developing these really good procedures so that we can support our brand partners is our major obstacle right now, which is incredible to have because,
Yeah.
we are at a capacity where we're working with enough brands where we're really sustainable and like really in a great place. And also like we have the potential to work with so many more. It's just getting those procedures in place. And although we have grown fast, I feel like it's really important not to move too fast and to like take a hold of that. So that is totally where
Yeah.
I think the biggest bottleneck is right now.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense with the amount of growth that you guys have had. That's often a thing that businesses are faced with is you're so focused on the growth, you kind of forget about the logistics behind making that growth work for the long term and the procedures and the policies and all that. That's stuff that honestly isn't as much fun,
No, it's
but
not.
it's so critical for your growth. So let's look fast forward maybe 6 to 12 months. What would amazing growth look like for Shelf Love for you and your team?
That's a great question. All of our employees are on 1099s right now. I would love to get to a place where I have an opportunity to offer W-2s and
Yeah.
some benefits.
Hmm.
Team happiness and, our whole ethos and how we treat everybody is really at the core of how we operate as a company. I think that if we can find really good people and we can get them to stay, then that is like the best thing that we can do for our company. So yeah, I think in 6 to 12 months, having maybe even 1 or 2 more hires to help with managing our brand ambassadors, taking over the scheduling and all of that sort of stuff. And I think really, I don't necessarily think we need to grow into additional cities, but I do think that kind of building our teams in the cities that we're in right now would be super amazing.
Yeah, yeah. There's no doubt. I mean, you guys just, well, you at least, you're leading a team of probably very similar people, just have such passion uh, uh, for the mission that you are on. And I'm just so thrilled to hear what you guys have been able to create in 2 years. I mean, that's so impressive.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's been really just like super fun. And going back to chat and AI, I definitely have used the services to help with like trainings and onboardings as we're
Hmm.
continuing to promote like what do job descriptions look like what is fair
Yes.
pricing, like all that sort of stuff, and how do we kind of grow and develop our team members as well. So yeah, it's been great.
I always tell people when in doubt and you don't know how to do something, just free flow it into ChatGPT and it will spit something out. It's just a starting point, right?
It's
Just
pretty
to,
incredible, honestly.
yeah, yeah, it's a lot smarter and faster than I can be. So it's been an
100%.
incredible tool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and then just all the tools out there that we don't even know anything about yet that are coming down the pike to help us do things more efficiently. And to me, it's really not about replacing us. It's about enhancing us and allowing those of us who use it to really focus on our superpower, right? Your superpower probably is not creating SOPs, right? It's not what you want to do.
It's so
Mine
true.
it rarely is for anybody, but it does allow you to really focus on that. So just congratulations to everything you and your team have accomplished. It's really impressive.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been fun. And I totally agree. I think, there are a lot of like discrepancies around AI. And obviously, I mentioned before the environmental impacts and all of that sort of
Hmm.
stuff. But truly, I wouldn't have a company to be able to have 40 plus employees
Right.
and support all
Yeah.
these brands without it. So it has been so useful. And it is also like kind of crazy to think about, like you said, what it's going to be like in even like 5 years, how it's going to look different. So.
You raise an excellent point, though. Like, you have been able to give people opportunities because you chose to use AI, right? It didn't replace those people, it gave them opportunities. So when you use it in the right way, it can absolutely do that. That's very cool.
Yeah, totally. I
Yeah.
totally agree. How
Yeah.
have you
Well,
used it?
I use it certainly. ChatGPT is my best friend. I use it a lot for lead generation. It allows
Hmm.
me to connect with people. Um, because obviously reaching out to individuals like companies, and I'm talking more at the company level, it just takes a lot of time and the back and forth, and it's gotten so good that it can have conversations that
Mm.
sound like me, and sound like a person, and don't not like a robot. And so I've grown to trust that it can do that reliably in order to allow me to connect with more people. Right? It's not
Yeah.
replacing me; it's allowing me to do more of what I enjoy and what I can do to help, like my business grow and help the people that I'm working with grow. So I would say that's probably right now a big way I'm using it, because it can even put those meetings on my calendar
Yeah.
automatically. Right?
It's
For
actually
me to be
incredible.
able to do that, I mean, not to have to go back and forth and figuring out calendars and all that crap.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so crazy, especially if you have a crazy inbox too. Like I know that
Yes.
it can help with organizing
Hmm.
and summarizing and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, it is
Yeah.
pretty incredible to be able to have a tool like this to
Yeah.
utilize for sure.
I mean, when you guys get ready for growth, I'm telling you, you gotta use it, because it will just allow you to connect with brands. You can geographically do it, but you could do brands across the country, brands in your target cities, and just in ways that you're just never going to be able to do. Or you're going to have to hire a whole team of people, which just eats into your bottom line to
Yeah.
do. So it's
Yeah.
just going to allow you to grow in ways that probably are just unimaginable right now when you get there.
Yeah, it's really cool. My little sister actually works in tech, and so she is always like telling me all the new things. It like pretty much goes
Yeah.
over my head, but she
Yeah,
tries.
me too.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not the
Yeah.
techie side, but I have teams of people that do
Yeah.
that.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, really cool. I can't wait to. I'm definitely going to stay connected to you and follow you, and hopefully you'll share a lot on social media, because that way I'll be following how things are going. And when you get to the point of wanting to grow, I'm telling you, let's connect, and I'll just show you how to do that in the most efficient, amazing way to allow you to focus on those superpowers, helping those brands do their thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Well, thank you
yeah,
so much. It was really fun getting to talk with you and learn more about kind of like what you're doing. I would love to hear like a little bit more about where you see the podcast going and kind of like what you're wanting.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. In my world. I just love hearing about the experiences of especially people like you, early entrepreneurs. Like I talk to small and medium business owners, but really the early stories to me, like for me, I completely fell into entrepreneurship. I was a physician. That was my background. That was not my thing. I was very traditionally trained and traditionally geared towards doing what doctors do. And I just fell into it with a job like with WebMD 23 years ago when it was a startup, and it opened my mind to that things could be different, that you
Yeah.
can create a different life for yourself. And so that's really what I want the podcast to do, is inspire other people with early ideas, or people like you're like you might have been 2 years ago, like, wow, Megan's doing this, and then she just really had to push through and figure it out. And that's
Yeah.
what you have to do. That's what makes being an entrepreneur hard. You have to figure it out, and you have to be willing to do that and not rely on your boss to tell you what to do. You are the boss, right?
It's so true. Even I had a meeting with my leadership team earlier, and she was having a hard time, or one of our team members was having a hard time with learning how to delegate. And I was like, you're the boss now. Like, you got to do
Yeah.
this. This is
Yes.
you. You're in charge of
Yeah.
her. But yeah, it is really fun. And I just think it's so fun getting to work with other like-minded people and learn about what they know, and
Yeah.
creating a space that is like open and available for everybody. It's been really exciting. So that's cool.
I mean, it's to me, I think you're exactly right. To be able to share that opportunity with other people who didn't think it was a possibility for them and a lot of those people you're working with probably still don't even see themselves as like entrepreneurs in the space. They probably still feel like a little bit of an employee of sorts, but if they follow in your footsteps, and these people you're growing into COOs and marketing directors and all of that, that's what an incredible opportunity. And they probably never thought they'd be there a year or two ago.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is really exciting. And also, like I said before, I fell into this industry by mistake, and by no means 5 years ago did I think I was going to have a successful business and 40 employees.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just, to your point of being able to offer like insight to newer prospecting entrepreneurs is really just
Yes.
like finding something that you're really passionate about and then not being afraid to take the jump and do it.
Yeah.
And I actually was on our podcast, we were talking to somebody, and my co-host asked, like, how were you scared when you went into entrepreneurship? But was that
Hmm.
scary for you? And she was saying that she had worked in corporate America and had actually experienced layoffs from her job, and it wasn't feeling safe. And so she was like,
Yeah.
this actually feels safer to me. I'm in charge of my destiny now and like what that looks like. And I think that it's like kind of stuck with me since I heard her say it, because I'm like, it is true. Like, it's scary, and like what isn't scary, like
Right.
what is like, there's nothing that
Nothing
is,
is guaranteed.
nothing is
No
guaranteed.
job is guaranteed out there. We think that it's such a common mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and a lot of people, I mean, they got to realize you can start this on the side. The whole side gig phenomenon today. If you're scared, dip your toe in it.
Yeah.
Start exploring it. Yeah, it's going to create, that you need more time. You might have to stop watching Bachelorette, and there are things you might have to put aside for now. They
Yeah.
allow you the time to focus on it, but it will so pay off in
Oh
so
man,
many ways.
the hustle has paid off so
Yeah.
good. Like, it's just so
Hmm.
great, for
Yeah.
real. And
It changes you. It changes who you are.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier that I kind of floundered around for a little bit after teaching yoga and
Hmm.
didn't really know what I wanted to do. And it's really like led me to a place where I feel like this is like what I was meant to be doing. Like,
Yeah.
this is it now. Like, I like get it. And like, I oftentimes have envied people maybe like yourself that had a more traditional path of like going through, your MD, and
Right.
you have like the steps kind of lined up for you. And I just felt so lost. And yeah, I think it's just, keep doors open and try new things and like be open to it. 'Cause I definitely didn't know what was going to happen when I
Yeah.
entered the industry. So
And I went down that path, I think, just because it's what you're supposed to do, right?
yeah,
It's not
totally.
like I
Yeah.
necessarily put a ton of thought into this was the path for me versus some other path. It just is the path that I went down. And I'm very thankful for it. It's created a lot of opportunities for me as well in the medical space. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think this entrepreneurial path is unique for those who are willing to go through the process and
Yeah.
growth, right? You have to
Yeah.
be willing to grow, not your business, but yourself.
Totally. a
100%. You
hundred
need to
percent.
focus on
It's
yourself.
a good way to give yourself an ego check too.
Yeah,
Starting a
for
business.
sure.
You're like,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
But yeah, I think finding good people and also finding good mentors and people that you can talk to and
Mm,
kind of like bounce ideas off of, especially and I was spending time like working in like the grocery stores and going out everywhere, and then all of a sudden I'm like at home at my desk, and good thing my dog is here to keep me company. But
And I was
but
hoping my
yeah,
dog would be quiet.
yeah, well, you never know. But yeah, it's just, and it's fun, like finding good people to kind of bounce ideas off of, and people like yourself to kind of expand your network and see what other people are doing and why they're interested in this space. And it's like so cool when you open up the doors and just like are open to
Yeah,
learning more.
yeah. You have to be open, curious, and committed to learning.
Yes.
That's like my philosophy. If you don't
Yes.
do that, you're in the wrong space.
No, yeah, you're definitely in the wrong space.
Yeah,
What also helps
yeah,
me is having like a good workout routine too, because I got to get
yeah,
that
yeah.
stress out somewhere.
Yes, early morning to get it out of the way for me.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Well,
Cool.
phenomenal. I mean, I can't imagine where you're going to be 2 years from now,
I hope,
right?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It's been fun thinking about it growing. And when I first started Shelf Love, I there was a point where the brand that we're working with and kind of expanded with had kind of floated out the idea of like, oh, maybe we'll hire you on full time and like you can be that instead of Shelf Love. And I was like, okay, that's kind of great. I get
Yeah,
benefits and I don't have to worry about anything.
right.
That's amazing. And it didn't end up working out that way. And I'm so glad that it didn't, because then we
Yeah.
were able to just grow and expand. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think just like staying true to what you believe and where you're interested and passionate is like the way to do it, for sure.
And that's what I was gonna kind of say to wrap it up is stay committed to your mission and passion and the rest will, it will fall into place with a heck of a lot of work. But if you lead with that, you're going in the right direction.
Yeah, totally. And leading with like heart too, like leading with something where you're feeling really proud. Like, of course I want to make enough money to support myself and my family and all of that. But my main driving force isn't necessarily that or surrounded by that. I really just want to take good care of our awesome employees and our awesome brand partners, and then the rest with a heck of a lot of work does fall into place. So
it will fall, even the money will fall into place.
Yeah, exactly.
If your heart's there. Yeah, so well said. Yeah. Well, congratulations. Let's stay in touch. And I can't, I'm just so impressed with your growth so far, and I know there's a lot more to come from you guys, and you're going to be helping a lot of brands do a lot of amazing things. So I will thank you for them, because if they didn't have you, a lot of them probably would, maybe not even be here today.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saying that. It is it's really exciting. And if anybody ever wants to reach out or follow us on socials, our company is called Shelf Love. And be excited to connect with anybody. What is the best way for someone to
connect with you and reach out?
Yeah, LinkedIn. My name is Meghan Sumser. And on socials, our handle is at loveyourshelf.co. So loveyourshelf.co, or you can look up Shelf Love and you'll be able to find it. But
well, you got one new follower here.
Yay! Okay, perfect. But anybody wants to reach out, that I follow those two social channels pretty consistently. So
perfect.
But thank you for having me on, Michael. It's so great to get to chat with you and meet you, and excited to hear all the episodes that you have coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.